Yo, 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 welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And let's just keep it rolling. Bellator 297 Friday night, literally tomorrow at this rate. And I already talked about how I think this is a huge chance for Vadim Nemkov to make a name for himself within the MMA community. And I know, I hate using the diehard, freaking phrase, but, fans that truly follow the sport and watch it, they know who Vadim Nemkov is and how good he is. But for people that might be watching this weekend, because it's a huge chance for, Bellator to get some views. They got a huge card. No, I think it's a huge chance because everybody knows Yoel Romero, and I think it just could be huge, even though Romero's 46, and I don't know if it's that impressive of a win in comparison to what he's done already. But still, I think it's going to be pretty cool. But I think the number one thing I want to talk about, man, I think probably the most intriguing fight this stacked card Friday is the Sergio Pettis versus Patricio Pitbull Freire. And, honestly, it's because I don't know. Clearly, I mean, it's stupid to say who's got more to gain. Clearly, it's Pitbull just because he can become a three-time champion, a three-division champ. Clearly, I think that would be massive. I think that's one of the biggest things ever. I know it's not the UFC guys and whatever, but to do it in one PFL, Bellator, Ryzen, whatever one, even in your local promotion, guys, like that's one of the most impressive things you could ever do, ever see, whatever. But the one thing I am really concerned about, at least when it comes to Pitbull's side, is we've seen this before when these guys, move down in weight. It tends to actually work out a lot for these guys that move up in weight. And especially, I mean, Sergio Pettis is literally another person that we could use as a reference here. Dude was really good at 125 for the UFC, but now that he's fighting at 135 in Bellator, he looks like a world beater out here. This man looks like he belongs there. But, even when we see, like, with Pitbull, when we see him go to 155 and knock out Michael Chandler within a minute, dude looked phenomenal at 155. I know it's only a minute that we can see, but, like, physically he looked fucking really powerful, and we could tell by the punches he was powerful. So, and then clearly 145, he just looks like he's hit his home. And so 135, that's the only thing I'm worried about is sometimes when these guys, and I've seen some pictures, I might even post it up here right now, like he looks thin, like he's already, made weight and everything. And dude, I'm telling you guys right now, that's the only thing that worries me. It reminds me of, like these guys that deplete themselves. We see it all the time. Like, I hate to use the UFC more so, but like when TJ Dillashaw went down to fight Henry Cejudo, didn't go well at all. He lost his chin. We saw, even when it's not even guys that are fighting for championships, like Cody Garbrandt went down, didn't have his chin with him. I think these guys deplete themselves so much that it just, oh man, I just think it actually kills them. And we've talked about that forever. Weight cutting is one of the most dangerous things in the sport. And I know Pitbull's probably, this guy has seen everything. He has fought the best of the best. He has done everything that he can possibly do. Dude finishes people left and right. So he must be really confident for this. And I think this is where I think it gets scary. I think a lot of people, okay, we'll see this guy. We'll see Pitbull go out there and knock out a Michael Chandler, who, finally we get to see him as a whole from the UFC, where he's knocking, he's knocking people's heads off. And he might not be winning the fights, but he's damaged a lot of these guys that he fights, every single one of them. He's a powerhouse. We've seen it. So, to see Pitbull do that and, to see him, even though I thought he'd lost against AJ McKee both times, I know he definitely lost the first time and he lost the second time. This dude hasn't got a finish in his last three fights, and he's got very impressive wins, beating Adam Borks and AJ McKee, and then I'm not even going to try the dude's name from Ryzen, but still, I think he's looking probably to get a finish. And if you're going to look at a finish for Sergio Pettis, good luck. That dude is fucking filthy. And this is the other side of the table here. This is Sergio Pettis' side to, maybe make a name for himself. I know personally, if you guys know this guy, he's the man. He's a really good fighter. He deserves to be talked about. Not in a GOAT stance or anything like that, but he deserves to be talked about, one of the greatest, bantamweights out there right now. And it's just tough for him because he's always been in his brother's shadow. Anthony Pettis was the first one we got to watch. He had the Showtime kick. We've seen him become champion, not only in WEC but also in the UFC. And then we've seen him have some big boxing matches. And we just all know Anthony Pettis. I think he was on a MTV show or something there for a little bit, like Real Life or whatever the hell it was. So I just think it's just a huge moment for Sergio. I think he could put his name on the map. And, don't forget, guys, this guy, I know MMA math doesn't always add up and it doesn't work, but this dude beat Brandon Moreno, I think, in 2018 or something in the UFC in one of his last couple fights in the UFC. And he could easily be 125 champion right now that Mighty Mouse and Cejudo are gone. And who knows what he could do at 135 currently, because he's looking phenomenal over here. And you guys can make an argument. 135 is probably just as stacked at Bellator than it is the UFC because, man, that division is just all around stacked. So to see him out here just doing his thing, knocking out Kyoji Horiguchi, like, who does that shit, man? That shit was nasty. Beating Juan Archuleta, that shit, these things that he's doing, like, just absolutely massive. And I can't wait to see them fight this weekend or tomorrow. And, I think it could be trouble that Pitbull drops that much weight, but I definitely could see him getting it done. I just think if he goes for broke too much, I think Sergio Pettis has a great counter game, and he's great all around. And let's not forget the confidence level. I think his confidence level is an all-time high. He had a rough night against Kyoji Horiguchi just because Horiguchi's such an awkward style, but he goes out there and finishes him with that spinning back fist, one of the nastiest things you'll see. And I think at that time, I think he was like, well, if I was going to lose it all, it was going to be tonight to a fight like this. And now that I got that under my belt, I don't know. I think confidence is a huge thing in this game. And you guys can say what you want, but I know Pitbull has been looking a little more gun shy ever since his AJ McKee fight. So we'll see. I definitely think this would be huge for AJ McKee. I think this could really solidify him as, like, I don't want to say one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, but definitely up there, one of the most elite. You know what I'm saying? One of the top, easily top like 50 fighters we've ever seen. And, I just think it would be huge. Anybody that can become a 3-time champion, 3-division champion simultaneously, like, come on, man, that's impressive. So I want to see him get it done, but I'm also a huge Sergio Pettis guy, and I'm also a huge AJ McKee guy, so I'm not mad at watching Pitbull lose, if we're being honest. But it's always your boy, Steven Moustaris, and this is your boy MMA Short Show. Let's get it. And honestly, you guys let me know, because I think this fight card's stacked. We got... it is kind of funny. I feel like Bellator's been doing a great job, and all these promotions have been doing a great job at not necessarily, using the old UFC roster and like signing all these guys that get cut. But it is kind of funny that, and I think in like the third feature fight this at Bellator 297 this weekend, we got Phil Davis versus Corey Anderson, which is literally like a blast in the past in the UFC. And of course, Yoel Romero. It's funny. Sergio Pettis. Like, it's kind of funny to see them using such a stack card with the UFC fighters, but. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let's go, baby. Let's go.